fellow Haskellers! Happy Mother's Day to any mother who is watching the channel, which I suspect is not many, but if you are a mother, thanks for increasing the diversity of the Haskell community. All right, so today I plan to implement a very, very small Haskell application that I hope will be small enough that I'll have time to implement all of it during the stream. As opposed to the other much more long-term projects like Giggles is You. I have a series of streams about that where it's a small game, but even though it's a small game, it's big enough to span multiple streaming sessions. So if you're in the mood for a more bite-sized episode that you don't need to be familiar. Well, you don't need to be familiar with the previous episodes of Giggles is You in order to attend the stream, because as the text here says, I am very welcoming of beginner questions, including people who are beginner to the stream rather than beginner to Haskell, and also people who are beginner to Haskell. In any case, this time I'm making a very bite-sized application. I did one before on stream, which was the countdown that you saw during the waiting period. And every time I'm trying to add some feature to my stream, the fact that it's for my stream reminds me, I should probably implement it on stream. So that's the same thing that happened today, because one of the other things I have presented on the stream is my ACTA implementation of the Tarjan strongly connected components algorithm, which is described here. And as part of that stream, I was trying to explain the algorithm using this animated GIF here, but the fact that at the end of the GIF it goes back at the beginning, and now I have to wait for it to show exactly the frame I want to talk about, but it's only being displayed for 1 second. It made it very inconvenient. So I would like now to make a very small application for browsing through the frames of an animated GIF. I'm sure that already exists, but I want to write one in Haskell. So here are the specs. I want an application which receives the path to an animated GIF as input, and then opens a window of a particular size. It needs to be a very specific size, because the idea is that it will display here on my face, and I'll be able to point to the various parts of the image. And in fact, I already got something like that working. Currently, I'm configuring it with GIMP. So if I draw something and I turn it on, if I draw something on the image here, you should be seeing it on top of my face, but you don't. So what is the problem? There you go. I've drawn a few things already. So now I can point to the various things on the image. Anyway, that's it, yeah? Can I delete this thing? All right, excellent. Okay, so I want to create a window that is exactly that size, so that it overlays exactly my face, and there aren't parts out there that I can't point to. Okay, that's one of the requirements. Yeah, open a window, right size. Ideally the right position, but I don't think I'll be able to make it the right position, because I have two screens. There's the screen that you're seeing here, and there is a second screen on which I am monitoring that I am indeed displaying the things that I want to display. Ideally, I would like to position the window exactly at the place in that monitoring screen that I am capturing in order to display stuff on my face. I plan to use gloss, and in my experience, while it is possible to decide where in the screen I want to display the window, I haven't figured out how to tell it okay, but on which screen to display the window? Maybe I should be using a more flexible library like GLFW, I think, is another Haskell library for, well, GLFWB, there are two of them, is the right one, is another Haskell library for displaying windows. But then I'd have to figure out, okay, well, how do I draw inside of that window? And with Glass, I know exactly how to do it. It's very easy. And it is important for me to be using technologies I am very familiar with if I want it to fit within the hour. Okay, so first requirement, correct size window. I obviously want to display the GIF inside of the window, but I want it to begin by displaying just the first frame, not the animated GIF, and to be able to move to the right by pressing the right arrow key, and moving to the previous frame by pressing the left arrow key, and I think it would be useful by pressing home and end to go to the very first or very end of the animation, and maybe like stretch goal, like to display something on the right flashing quickly when I have reached the last frame, or on the left when I have reached the previous frame, so that I don't like try to go further to the left or further to the right than I can. So that's it. That's the specs. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to implement an app that does all of that today. So first things first, let's start a new Git repository, because it's really from scratch. There's nothing in my folder. And templates that found. I don't think I need a template. I like to start with an allow nt commit, because like there are some complexities with Git and rebasing. It's more difficult to rebase over the very first commit. So even though I don't usually rebase, I've picked up this habit of always beginning with a dummy commit with no files in it that I never plan to rebase over. But every commit after that, I can rewrite or rebase if I want. All right, so, well, I want this to be a Haskell program. So, I think I will just copy some files over from Giggles as you. I'll copy a stack file and a package.yaml file. My stack file contains already implementation of Gloss. Oh, right, I remember now. I was using a variant of Gloss in which I fixed a bug in Gloss that seemed to affect some macOS systems where the entire image was only displayed in the bottom right quadrant for some reason. I reported it. I'm not sure if there's, including like how I fixed it. Not sure if they're going to do anything about it. And oh, Gloss Juicy, that also seems like something that's going to be useful, because I need to load the GIF image, and Juicy, well, not Gloss Juicy, Juicy is a Haskell library for loading, and I think also saving images in various formats. And Gloss Juicy is like in between Gloss and Juicy. If I am loading an image using Juicy, I want to display it in the Gloss window. Okay. So this folder refers to a copy of Gloss that was local to Giggles' use repository. So, well, I guess I could refer to it like that. But then those who would download this repo would not have the Giggles as you folder next to theirs, so they wouldn't be able to use that. So instead, I think I will try to pin the version of Gloss. Well, actually, let's just try with the regular version of Gloss, because I don't know if my version of macOS is affected by this bug. Anyway, so let's start simple, okay, with this stack file. And I also need a package.yaml file that I will also copy from equals.su. Oh, I apparently already did. I should really learn how to use those project templates things in order to start with a bunch of files so that I don't have to copy them from my previous project. I can copy them from the template instead. So this project is named GIF browser. Those options, default options, I don't know if those are default options. Those are the options I copied from Google.su, but anyway, they look good. Like this one says that I want to run on multiple CPUs at runtime. Don't know if I use that, but like it's always disappointing when you write a multi-threaded program and then it turns out all of the threads are only running in a single core, because in Haskell, if you have like an executable out, you need to type plus rts-n in order to run it on multiple cores. So we can hard code the -n, and apparently -t. I forgot what -t does. Probably useful. Okay, so dependencies. I think I will definitely need juicy pixels. I was saying juicy before, but juicy pixels is the full name. I don't think I'll need to make direct calls to Bloot and OpenGL. It's two things that Gloss is using, so I'm depending on them indirectly, but I like the API that Gloss is providing. And presumably in equals.su, I had to go deeper into the dependencies of my dependencies to do fancier things. But for this small application, I don't think I need anything fancy. In fact, I think that those are it. We'll see later. Two of those that I've just deleted, transformers and containers, are very common. But we'll see if I need them. I want this to be an executable called GIF browser. And I'll put it in a folder called src. And I don't think I'll even need tests. Okay, excellent. Create a folder of the appropriate name. Create a file of the appropriate name. Just a simple hello world for now. Add all of those files. And build. So it should have generated a bunch of files. And I want to add those files to git ignore, so that Git doesn't list them when I do git status. There we go. Now it's only listing the files I care about and any new files I add to remind me to add them. So currently it's just the hello world. Okay, let's get started. So I want to use Gloss. So what is the import for Gloss? Is Google down? No, it's just slow. I'm going to go directly to package. Let's enter the name of the application of the package, and it's graphics.class. And the main looks like this. like to indent it a bit differently, like this. Okay, so this is saying that I want to display a static image. That's not what I want in the end. I will want an interactive application, but for now it's just a window with a static image. That image is a circle that is 80 pixels in its radius on a white background, and the title is nice window, and either the, okay, one of them is the position, the other is the size. It's probably not 10 pixel by 10 pixel. So this one has to be the size, 200 by 200, and the position is 1010. Like I said, I can specify the position, but not which screen. So hopefully it displays it on the right screen. Right, so it displayed it on this screen that you can see, and not the screen where I would like it to be, here. Okay, so the pink artifacts that you see around it is because, well, if you noticed earlier when I was drawing on top of my face, I'll do it again, when I was drawing, well, you only saw the thing I was drawing and not like the GIMP window that contains the drawing. And so that means that I must have done some kind of magic in order to remove all of the window decoration and stuff. And my trick is simply that I filled the background pink, and I configured OBS to hide all of the pink pixels, but when I put this window on top, this window has like a nice shadow in macOS, and so all of the pixels that are in the shadow are a slightly darker shade of pink, so that's why you see the pink underneath. But hopefully that won't be a problem once I make sure that this window has the right size. So just ask GIMP, what is the size of the image that I've already created? 640 by 339. So 640 by 339. Right, much bigger, and if I try to put it here, it covers the whole area. It seems to cover a bit of an area that I can't touch, but I think that's because of the misconfiguration on my part on the OBS side. I thought my face would occupy that full rectangle. In fact, it did. Put my face in the circle. It did in the previous test, but now OBS has added a weird border on the top, and I'm not sure why. I can try to quickly fix that. I think if I change the resolution, maybe? I'm not sure if that helped or hindered. I think that fixed it. Did it? I can't tell because of the overlay. Yes, it did. Now it's the full region. Excellent. So I don't know what broke OBS, but I fixed it. Okay, so I had to like carefully position the window so that it would be exactly on top of my face. I would like to be able to just snap it at the bottom right of the window, of the screen, and to have the rectangle at the right place. So I think I will make the window a bit bigger and put a rectangle of that shape in the middle, and I will make that rectangle of the same pink color that I know I can make disappear. So the color in question, what is the color? It is FEE5FC, 5E E5FC. Just write that down somewhere. 5E, no, FEE5FC. And I need to figure out how to construct a color in Gloss. Is there like a function color? No, it looks like a function which colorizes a picture rather than a function which creates a color. Well, I guess I can go look at the documentation of the color type to see how it's created. To make a custom color, use make color. Excellent. So this one takes floats in the range 0, 1, but this one below, make color I, takes components in the range 0 to 55. So I should be able to use that with OX, FE, OX, E5, OX, FC. That's the color I want. Oh, and another thing. I want to use GHCID here to automatically tell me if I have any type errors whenever I save. And indeed, there was a type error here. So what was the problem? It's expecting, probably because I need something for the alpha. I never know if full opacity is 0 or FF, so let's try FF. And try to run it and see if it's pink. That looks pink. And if I put it here, as you can see, the background is gone. We only see the circles. Excellent. But I also said I want to snap it to the bottom right, and that I want to make the window bigger so that I can do that. This is the size of the rectangle that I want to draw inside. So I guess the background will still be white, but the picture will be a thing of that color. I guess I can name it pink. Which spelling? No, U. Okay, so that's my color. And I want a pink. I think it's solid rectangle that we use in Glass. Solid, no, rectangle solid. Rectangle solid 640 by 339. Oh, but now it's going to be the size of the window, so I won't be able to see the rectangle. So I need that to be bigger. How much bigger? Oh, I should be able to ask OBS for that information, because I already had to crop that portion of my second screen to just that area. So let's see. I cropped the bottom 44 pixels. So if I add 44 pixels, no, on the bottom. On the bottom, 44 pixel more at the bottom of the rectangle, and also 44 pixel more at the top of the rectangle, just to make it easier so that everything is centered. and I had to crop 19 pixels on the right. So once again, 19 on the right and 19 on the left. Okay, so I think this will work. Right, there is a pink rectangle, and if I snap it, it fits very snugly. Yeah, if I move it in any direction, we see the white, but if I snap it, we don't see any white. Excellent! Just double check. We don't see any white. I think we don't. You might be able to see better than me, actually. So I'll see it when I watch on YouTube after I upload the stream on YouTube, whether there is any white. But I think this is fine. All right, so that's good so far. Pink rectangle of the right size. Oh, and I have selected the position using 1010. I think that is 1010 as an offset from the corner over there, right? But between, well, it looks at the top for you, but that's because there's stuff that is cropped above. So if I use, say, a big negative number, will it be on my left screen, like minus 1,000? Nope, it's further to the right than it was before. So I don't know how it interprets that number, but whatever, I'll just keep it at the default 1010. And I guess I'll keep it there for the remainder of my tests, because we've already tested that once I move it to the right place. It does the right thing. Okay, so it says I changed something. No, I haven't. So what do I want to do next? I want to load an image that is specified on the command line. So there it is, this system.environment.getArgs function that I can use to get the arguments. So let me just press them. This equals is a typo. So if I do stack run with foo_bar_baz, it should print foo_bar_baz at the bottom. And then display the window at the top. Yep, foo_bar_baz. So those are the arguments. And so I expect to receive exactly one, which is the file path, if that, and then do something to give that. For now, we're just displaying that, and otherwise, just put some error message. Usage GIF browser GIF file, and that's good enough of documentation. Because this is for my own personal use anyway. So now foo_bar_baz should trigger that usage text. And if I give, well, I need a path. parse command line arguments. So I need a path to a GIF file. So I should download that GIF file that I am interested in eventually. Is there a download? Open image in a new tab, maybe? And then save image as. Maybe there was a save image as in the previous tab and I just didn't see it. Tarjan. Apparently I already downloaded it last time. So I'll just move it. Tarjan here. Looks like the right image. It's even, wow, it's even animated inside of the terminal. This EMG cat is impressive. Or I guess iTerm 2 is impressive. Okay, so that's distracting. If I specify GIF, okay, well I have to install it. Stack install instead of run. If I do GIF browser with nothing, it tells me I need a GIF file, and if I now give it targen, it runs, but it doesn't display it. So I now want to display it. Okay, so that's where Juicy Pixels comes in. Okay, so once again, I know the name of the package. No reason to wait for a slow Google. It's called Juicy Pixels. And it can load a variety of image formats, including GIF. Excellent, that's what I need. How do I load a GIF? Could I capture the GIF? What's the animated version? This presumably gives only one image, because type, dynamic image. I want a list of images. There you go, list of dynamic image. Decode GIF images. Oh, from a byte string, not from a file path. Looks like that's all I'm gonna get. Okay, well, no problem. I can read the byte string myself. I know that I want to call decode GIF images on the byte string. GIF byte string. Well, that's if I have a GIF path. I need to. Okay, so what does it give? Either string or a dynamic image. So. And this is IO? No, it's not in IO. Okay. So if it's left error, just fail with that error message. That's a string, right? Yes. And if it's a list of dynamic images, I'll call them frames, and that's what we'll use to display our main application. And I guess I'll make a helper function. App that takes the list of frames, dynamic image, even better, a list of pictures, and we'll display them. Frames. Okay. And how do I turn those frames into, well, what, I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't even decoded the byte string. So I'll call app with the frames. Once I have them, currently I'll give it the empty list, just so that I don't have to worry about converting the dynamic image frames. Well, here I've used opposite convention, GIF byte string, the thing that it is, and then the type. So I guess frames in frame dynamic images. There we go, curl at the end. Okay. So yeah, I need to somehow convert that into frame pictures, but which are going to be a list of pictures. But for now, just an empty list. Okay, so I need the GIF by string. I need to obtain that out of the GIF path. So I need a function from file path to byte string. Encode doesn't sound right. Is there something in the byte string package? Which is where I would expect to find a function that loads a file into a byte string. No. Cure user and cure user. Okay, okay. So what are the various functions from file path to byte string? I would expect it to be called like read file. Read file. I know there's one that returns a string. Oh, there you go. And it isn't byte string. So why didn't it return that? I'll open it in a different tab before I lose it. But like, I'm just wondering, like, come on, Google. Okay, so if I had typed that, it would have found it. Is it the colon that was missing? I don't know what I did. Oh, I wrote byte string with a lowercase s. That was a mistake. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. So, from data.bytestring, data.bytestring, and that's not going to work because, as it says above here, data.bytestring is a member of the hidden package bytestring, which means I need to add bytestring to my list of dependencies. And I need to restart GCRD so that it sees that I have changed the package.yaml file. Come on. All right. Okay, ambiguous occurrence of put strln. Okay, I'll just read, or even better, I'll import it qualified as byte string. This way, all of the functions like read file that exist both in the prelude and in byte string will be using the version from the prelude. And if I want the version from byte string, I'll have to type byte string dot the name of the file. So. I want to use some IO action, so I need to use bind byte string.read file gif path variable not in scope decode gif images. Didn't I import codec.picture.gif? Guess I didn't. All right. Retain type checks. And if I run it, pointing to the Tarjan file, well, it won't be displaying it, but at least it should not crash, indicating that it did load the file. Okay, cool. I could even like demonstrate that I did read it by printing the number of dynamic images that it has returned. Which obviously we couldn't produce if I wasn't loading the GIF image. So how many frames are there in that part of the animation? I'm guessing 18. 70. Oh, I was close. All right, so okay, I don't want to print on it. I want to convert those to a format that Gloss can display, and that's exactly what Gloss Juicy is about. And how does it do that? Oh, there's just one module, so that's obviously the one I need to import. Don't want to forget this time. Import Gloss Juicy. And from dynamic image, sounds easy. Okay, so because since it returns a maybe, I need to use traverse from dynamic image over my frame dynamic images. That will give me a maybe of a list, so that I can either fail with could not decode images. I guess Gloss does not support this image format. And if I have the frame pictures, then I want to call app with them. And since I have a list of frames, let's display them. I guess on top of this is my background. I want something to display a particular picture in the frame, like a particular index. So frame, I guess, could be a function from int to picture, but it needs to know the frames. So I guess I'll put it in that scope. I'll display frame 0. So if I want to display frame I just go and index at that position. Is that not how I index into, oh, frames plural. There we go. So I want to display frame 0. And that's like it traverses the list from the beginning, so if there was a lot of images, I should probably use a different representation, but there's only 17, so I don't care. Excellent. Except that I don't see the pink. Oh, because I'm not displaying it anymore. So I want to display the pink background, and on top of that, I want to display the first frame. Let's just display a different frame, just to make sure that frame is working. Excellent. Pink background is there, and this is a different frame. Unfortunately, the image itself is white, as a white background. So if I put it here, well, I'm able to point as I wanted, but I think it would look nicer if there wasn't this white background. So I'm wondering if I can remove it by doing some image manipulation. Well, let's first commit what I have so far. Display the first frame of the GIF. Okay. Let's see. So that would be something that Juicy Pixels, not Gloss Juicy, would know how to do. So if I have a dynamic image, can I transform its pixels? image pixels is a traversal. Okay, so I'd be able to use the lens over function to traverse all of the pixels. But that's if we have an image and we understand the format. So I think I need to convert the dynamic image into a particular format. How do I do that? So I want from a dynamic image to... Oh, dynamic image is already a sum type with one of the many different kinds of images. I think I want this one so that I can convert the white pixels into transparent pixels. But is there a conversion function from dynamic image? Oh, right. Oh, this way. Yeah. So we can't do Google-like searches here. We have to use Google for that. So from dynamic image to image something, pick some pixel format. Don't know what happened. Anyway, so I want convert RGB8 3 out of 111. Yeah, I think I'll stick to the online Google. Thank you. Okay, so I have dynamic images. I want to convert from dynamic image to RGB8, and that was not even a maybe, it's guaranteed. So frame RGB8, I guess. To map that function over every dynamic image in my list to get, I like to write type signatures everywhere to make things easy to read. Alright. And then we had from dynamic image in gloss juicy, but I remember seeing like immediately below it a function that was taking an RGB8, I think. From image RGBA, excellent. And I don't need traverse anymore because that one is not returning. Maybe it's directly returning a picture. It's guaranteed to succeed. Excellent. And is it RGB8 or RGBA8? I want A8. Do they have convert RGB A8? Well, okay, one thing at a time. Let's get things compiling first. So that is scope image. That's probably from gloss the picture without the GIF. Indeed, okay, the rest is warnings. Oh, and I guess gloss connected picture was already exporting whatever connected picture the GIF was returning. Okay. Okay, so frame RGB8. Can I make it into RGB A8? Yes, I can. And frame RGBAs using from image RGBA. Just continue my let. So frame pictures. That's a list of pictures. And I do that using from image RGBA8 on frame RGBA8s. And now there can't be an error. Cool. So that should still work. But now I have a concrete representation, RGBA8 for my pixels. So I'll be able to do some pixel manipulation using, I think it was called map pixel. Alright, still looking good. So back in Juicy Pixels, It was called map. No, maybe pixel map. I remember seeing it. Yeah, pixel map. And we could do something that depends on the position. Oh, that sounds like a nice way to like generate some art from a mathematical equation, like from x, y to like a color. Anyway, that's not what I want today. Just pixel map, so that I can convert the specific color I'm interested in. Okay, so what do I name those? Okay, I keep mapping, right? I think I should write a helper. The dynamic. Okay, this one's called convert RGBA8. It's going to be convert picture from a dynamic image to a picture. And we're going to do that by first converting to an RGBA8 and that, and then converting from an RGBA8 to yeah, I think that works. Oh, a bunch of typos here. That's going to be map convert picture frame dynamic images. Okay, so that checks. But now I have a bit more room to, like, in between, do this map pixel, pixel map, pixel map, pixel map of, I guess, pink to alpha, which is going to be a function from that index, so RGBA8. Just put ID for now. It's not RGBA8, so what was it then? It's pixel RGBA8. Right. And what is a pixel RGBA8? It is the pixel RGBA8 constructor applied to, oh, RGBA8 applied to 4 inputs. And I want to detect discaves. So it said that I have 2 color representations. We should write the which converts between the 2. So if that's the case, then I want alpha. Transparent? Is there a color called transparent? Let's see, it will be in gloss. Here. So we have make color for custom colors, but there's probably a bunch of built-in colors, predefined colors, gray, black, white. They define a chartreuse, but not transparent. No problem. I will define transparent. As the color, doesn't matter if it's black or white or whatever, as long as the opacity is the opposite of what I used for the pink that was fully opaque, so 0. So do you have like a none instance in which it would just be 0? You do! So it's just 0. Turn 1. You could not match. Right, because like I said, we have two different kinds of transparent. So whatever, I can't use transparent. I will instead hard code it here. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and any other color, I return it as is. All right, so that did not work at all. Presumably I'm not calling it. No, I am calling pink to alpha. So does that mean that... Oh, because it's not pink, it's white. Which is kind of specific to this particular animated GIF. But I guess it's fine. I guess I can generalize from pink to alpha to remove background, and I give it a specific color. So I guess 1 or maybe 255 would be white. So I give it a color to remove, pixel RGB 88, background, and a color. And if the color is the background, then I return transparent. Otherwise, I leave the color alone. And that one does not have a num instance, so I have to use ff, ff. Guess I'll rename this one background picture. Right. Does this work? Yes, it did remove all of the white and convert it to pink. So now I can point. There's like some weird artifacts, which I remember from when I did try that when I was presenting Tarzan the previous time. I guess I could like make this a bit fancier, and like if it's close to the specific color I want to remove the background. Like they're very close to white, right? I'll give it a try, and if it's too hard, I'll just give up. So I give it a color, and I guess a how do you call it? Like by how much you want to allow it to differ, a threshold. Just a number, I guess. And so I need, instead of comparing if they are equal, I need to check if the colors are similar enough. So I guess if the color distance between those two is smaller than or equal to the threshold, then I return empty. And I know, of course, color distance doesn't exist. I guess I'll just define my own color distance function. Takes two images, two pixel colors, and returns a number. Pixel RGBA, red 1, green 1, blue 1, alpha 1, and red 2, green, oh, this one is 1, blue 2, alpha 2, and and I'm computing like the absolute difference between R1 and R2 plus the absolute difference between the greens and the absolute difference between the blues and the absolute difference between the alphas. Okay, so remove background with this color and the threshold of, I don't know, 16. I guess this needs to be a word? No, word 8 is too small because like black and white both differ by 255 in every component, so the sum of those numbers will be bigger than 255. So I do want int, but I guess I want to convert each of them to an int before I do any calculations. Okay, thanks, GHC. I must have had a typo somewhere. And indeed, that should be a B. All right, does this look better? Yeah, there are still some artifacts, but it's much better than before. I think I just need to bump from 16 to, I don't know, 32. Nice. 32 was the magic number. Excellent. So, what did I do since the last commit? Trading with space. That's... Oh, I converted the picture. Oh, I was doing that before. Okay. So, I guess the main thing I'm doing is that I'm removing the background now. So, remove white background. Okay. And I can tweak the code if I want to configure that to be something else. I don't mind. It's only for my own use, but if it was for users, of course, I would want to make that configurable as like a command line argument or something. Okay, so we can display the image. It's a bit small, but it's the size of the image I got. Maybe I can scale it. How small was it? It's not that small. I would want it maybe 1.5 times bigger. So again, just hard coding what looks nice. Here. Scale 1.5 in both dimensions. All right, that's pretty big. All right, oh yeah, now I can point to all of the various parts of the drawing. Excellent. So, that was a very small change. Display the image bigger. Okay, finally. So I thought that just displaying the image would take me like 10 minutes, but it's already been like an hour, 15 minutes. But I said bite size, one streaming session, so I'm gonna try to finish it this session rather than create a part 2. And so what I need now is to react to keyboard events in order to go to the previous and next frame. And I can do that by switching from display to play. So in Plus, there is a function called play. By the way, you need to press S to be able to search functions by name in package. So this one also takes a display, like that thing. It will be the same size, and a background color, white, same thing. But now it takes a number of simulation steps. So that's for animations. I don't really want an animation. But they don't really say, like, should I use 0 if I don't care, or is 0 like as fast as possible? So I'll just use a small number, like 1. Oh, I can figure it out actually. So if I fill the rest with the metadata, so a unit for the world and const, well, I take as input that unit and I return the same image regardless of the state of the world, and I ignore the event that is coming in, always returning the same world regardless, and same thing when time passes. Okay, this type checks. So if I add debug trace, I can call, I can display something, trace update. So this is the one that takes a float, so this is the one that is being called every simulation step. So currently, since it's 1 simulation step per second, we should see the word update at the bottom there, once per second. Update. I would have expected to see another one by now. Are we going to update again? Guess not. Okay. Okay, what if I use a number n? Starting at 0. And the string that I print includes that number. Right, because I suspect it's doing something lazy and just avoiding to display it the second time. So now, if it actually changes every time, then it will have no choice but to print update 1, update 2. Well, it should start with update 0. Was a warning because I didn't specify the type of integers that I wanted, int or integer, 64 bits or infinite precision. Okay, so it is printing every second, and if I use 0, will it print never or as fast as it can? I would expect never 0 times per second, but sometimes extremal numbers are used as special cases. And it's what I expected, 0 times. Excellent. Okay, so I'll use 0 because I don't need animations yet. It did say I wanted something to flash on the right, but that was extra credits, and since it's taking so long, I guess I won't do the extra credits, at least not on stream. Okay, so so I don't want an integer to be this. Oh, actually, I do want the integer to be this state. So yeah, I want a state that stores everything that I need in order to update the state of my application in response to the keys. And well, I need to know like, what is the current frame. That's the only thing I need to know, and that's a number. So I already have the correct state, and I want to start it at the first frame. So 0 is already correct. Excellent. but I don't want to trace anymore. And I don't want to change it those 0 times that this function is called. But I do want to react. Oh, I think I should move those 2 helper functions. So draw is enough. Just draw. State of the world. Oh, frame is already of the right type. From the int, this is my world, to a picture. Excellent. Oh no, I want this. I want the background as well. So I do want draw after all. Int to picture, even though both of the right type, they are doing different things. So I want this. Okay. So this for draw. This is like react to events. And this one is time passes. So yeah, just react is good. I guess animate. So react takes a glossed event and is able to update the state of the world. For now, regardless of what I is, I return I. And animate receives, what does it receive? Float, the number of seconds since it was last called, I think. And this is never called. But same thing, it just returned I unchanged. Not in scope event. Would have expected the graphics.gloss to export event. Let's see, where is this from? It's from graphics.gloss.interface.io.interact. It's probably exported from other modules, but that's the easiest place to find it, so that's where I will import it from. Oh, there's already something called animate. Whatever, react to time, react event. That's how I will call them. Okay. So how do I want to react to the events? Well, what are those events? There's mouse movements, there's resizing the window, and there's keyboard event. So I'm interested in keyboard events. And I guess I still need that line for the case in which there's any other kind of event that I'm not pattern matching on, which can occur. Okay, so if the kind of event I am interested in occurs, I have a key, there's a key state modifier, and I think this is like the position of the mouse, so I don't care about the position of the mouse, the modifiers. I do care about the key state. It's like whether I press down on the key or if I release the key. So I care about the first two, but not about the modifier nor the mouse position. Okay, so the key that I care about is the right key, and that's a special key. And they have a list of special key. I'm just guessing it's called the key right. And it's when I press down that I want to react by increasing I by 1. And only if I is less than, well, I'll show you what happens if I don't put that condition first. All right, so if I press right, I go to the next frame. And if I press right again, it crashes because I have indexed outside of the list. So that's why I want to prevent users from going farther to the right than we can. So if I is currently smaller than the max index, which is the length of the frames -1, and the min index is 0. And we are starting with the min index. And then moving to the left, key left, I decrease by 1 as long as it's bigger than the min index. And while I'm here, let's also do home to go to the min index and end go to the max index. Something is defined but not used. Indeed, I don't care about the previous value of I for home and end. I'm always moving to the very first or very last frame. All right, so I think this is it. So, very last frame, very first frame, are they just the same? Yeah, they are the same. Very first frame, but I can move to the right. Very last frame, but I can move to the left. And yeah, I can go in both directions. I can't go too far. Excellent. That's it. That is my application. Thank you for attending the stream. I hope it was instructive. And see you next time, fellow Haskellers.